The Sphinx in Egypt is not just a globally recognized symbol, it is a profound mystery shrouded in endless questions and enigmas. What do we truly know about this ancient monument that has stood guard over the Pyramids of Giza for thousands of years? You may think you know its history or its details, but in reality, hidden secrets and unsolved mysteries could change everything you thought you knew. Watch this video to uncover secrets that may make you see the Sphinx with new eyes, realizing that what people don't know about it far outweighs what they do. Let's dive into one of the most intriguing theories about the Sphinx, a theory that, despite its boldness, has never been proven. Some say there is a hidden door or secret tunnel beneath the Sphinx, leading to unknown chambers underground. Historian Matt Simpson is one of those who believe in this theory, suggesting that a network of secret tunnels extends from the Sphinx all the way to the Pyramids of Giza. Even more fascinating is Simpson's claim that a French archaeological expedition discovered this hidden entrance during excavations in 1837, and that the renowned Egyptologist Colonel Howard Vyse was present to witness the event. But why wasn't this discovery announced to the world? According to Simpson, the team was pressured to keep it under wraps. Does the story sound strange? Perhaps, but it may not be entirely fictional, especially after the discovery of hidden tunnels beneath the Giza Plateau in 2019. And here, the questions become even more intriguing. If these tunnels do exist, where might they lead? Could the Sphinx have had a greater purpose than we imagine? And why, if this discovery were true, was it kept a secret? These unanswered questions open the door to speculations that could forever change our understanding of the history of the Sphinx and the Pyramids of Giza. Here's a fascinating fact about the Sphinx that may be less mysterious, but no less astonishing. The statue was carved from a single piece of natural rock. This massive monument feels like an architectural puzzle. How can we believe that this entire colossal form was carved from just one block of limestone? It's said that hundreds of workers put in tremendous effort over the years to shape the Sphinx into what we know today, stretching 74 meters in length and standing 20 meters tall. But is that entirely accurate? In fact, the statue has undergone repeated restorations, and parts of it were repaired with additional limestone blocks, meaning its original shape might have differed from what we see now. Let's pause and ask ourselves, how did the ancient Egyptians, with their simple tools, complete such a massive project thousands of years ago? Today, achieving this level of precision and scale would challenge even the most advanced engineering firms. So how did it happen back then? And who was the mastermind who designed and led this enormous project? Unlike many other Egyptian monuments, the Sphinx bears no inscriptions to tell us who created it, adding to scientists' puzzlement and fueling theories that its origins might be even older and more mysterious, perhaps crafted by an unknown civilization or even beings from other worlds. Now let's turn to another intriguing theory that may seem strange at first. Could the Sphinx originally have been a representation of the god Anubis, the god of the dead with a jackal's head? The traditional theory suggests that the Sphinx's face represents Pharaoh Khafra, but many people question this interpretation. Some believe the statue may have originally been a lion, designed to symbolize the constellation Leo. However, lions did not hold special significance in ancient Egyptian culture. On the other hand, dogs were revered thanks to their association with Anubis. If you take a closer look at the form of the Sphinx, especially its flat back and the position of its legs, doesn't it remind you of a dog? Another point worth considering is that Anubis was seen as the supreme guardian of the tombs. If we assume, as some do, that the Giza Plateau was a vast burial ground, wouldn't it make sense to have a great statue of Anubis guarding it? Then comes the bigger question. Is it possible that the face of the Sphinx was changed from that of Anubis to that of a pharaoh? Could significant alterations have been made to the statue since it was first carved? That seems plausible. What's more, it's striking that the Sphinx bears no inscriptions to tell us who built it or who carved it, which adds to the mystery. If we set aside the Anubis theory and return to the idea of Khafra, it's believed that the statue was built between 2555 and 2532 BCE. Yet there is no conclusive evidence to confirm this. So we find ourselves faced with an endless array of questions. Who is the true creator of this ancient statue? Why was it built, really? What was its original purpose? Have you ever wondered about the original name of the Sphinx? To this day, there is no record of it in the literature of ancient Egyptian civilization, raising many questions about its true identity. We know that it was referred to as Horus Market during the New Kingdom, but it is believed that this was not its first name. The name Sphinx was only used about 2,000 years ago. How could such a monumental figure go unrecorded in a civilization known for its meticulous documentation of everything? The lack of any record indicating the construction or naming of the Sphinx during a time period considered shrouded in mystery makes us wonder if these records have been destroyed. If that's the case, what could the reason be? The mystery surrounds its origins, shape, and even its name itself. The Latin name Sphinx is derived from a Greek term describing mythical creatures with lion bodies and human or animal heads. However, the Arabic name Abu al-Hawl is not without its own mystery, as it is believed to mean father of terror or father of fright, due to the statue's intimidating presence to those who approach it. Yet, Egyptologist Dr. Salim Hassan revealed an intriguing alternative interpretation for the name Abu al-Hawl during the 1930s and 1940s. During excavations on the Giza Plateau, remnants of a colony of foreign people, the Canaanites from the city of Haran, were discovered. They had come specifically to worship this statue, which they called Hall. The word Abu in ancient Egyptian means place, suggesting that Abu al-Hol translates to place of the Hall statue, rather than father of terror as commonly thought. In the New Kingdom era, the Sphinx was viewed as a manifestation of the sun god and was referred to as Horus Akhet, meaning Horus in the horizon. This suggests that it was considered more than just a statue. It was seen as a guardian standing between the realms of the living in the east and the dead in the west. Yet the questions remain open. What was the true name given by the creator of this statue? Here's a question that perplexes many. What happened to the Sphinx's nose? The most common story claims that the armies of Napoleon Bonaparte broke the nose of this ancient statue during the French campaign in Egypt in 1798. This account may seem intriguing, especially since it appears in some historical texts, but is there any reliable evidence to support it? Unfortunately, there are no eyewitness accounts or direct evidence confirming this narrative, raising questions about how it could have occurred. Historically, the Arab historian al-Makrizi noted that the Sphinx's nose had been missing since at least the 15th century, and it may have been lost even earlier. Al-Makrizi claims that a Fatimid sheikh named Muhammad Sa'im al-Dahar was responsible for the destruction of the nose. But do we have any concrete evidence for this assertion? We lack anything that definitively supports this claim. But what are the alternative explanations? There is a controversial theory that suggests the nose was deliberately destroyed by Europeans upon their arrival in Egypt. Why would they do such a thing? It is believed that the original nose had a classical African appearance, which would have indicated that the ancient Egyptians had darker skin, and this could be a reason for concealing that truth. On the other hand, there is a hypothesis suggesting that the nose may have been eroded due to water damage. However, this raises new questions. It appears that the erosion visible on the Sphinx could only have occurred over thousands of years, requiring regular rainfall. Geologist Robert Schoch estimates that the age of this erosion could be around 12,000 years, implying that the Sphinx might be much older than we think. If this hypothesis proves correct, it could turn our understanding of Egyptian history upside down. But how can this erosion be explained? While Schoch advocates his viewpoint, many of his colleagues strongly oppose him, considering his theories fringe, highlighting the division of academic opinions surrounding this contentious issue. Returning to the legend of the Sphinx's broken nose, estimates suggest that its nose was long, about a meter wide, but what really happened to it? It is believed that historian al-Makrizi accused Sa'im al-Dahar of breaking the nose at a time when the Sphinx was regarded as a symbol of reverence. Additionally, ancient writings, such as those left by a 10th century pilgrim, indicate that the Sphinx was indeed without a nose at that time. This opens the door to further speculation, ranging from the effects of erosion and rain to the possibility that the nose was damaged due to human activity, such as archery practiced nearby during ancient times. The narratives and possibilities abound, but the truth remains elusive, making us wonder, what is the real story behind the Sphinx's nose, and will the mysteries surrounding this monumental relic ever be unraveled? Imagine that the Great Sphinx, this legendary guardian of the Egyptian desert, was completely hidden from sight in the 18th century. This fact makes it hard to believe the famous story that Napoleon's soldiers were responsible for breaking its nose. How could they damage something they couldn't even see? In reality, the Sphinx was entirely buried beneath Egypt's sands, with only the very top of its head visible, almost forgotten by the world. The true excavation efforts to reveal this monumental statue didn't begin until the 1920s, led by the French engineer Émile Barrès. It was a task that took nearly 10 years, and it wasn't until 1936 that the modern world finally saw the Sphinx in its full form. Before then, for about 150 years, many renowned figures like the Italian explorer Giovanni Caviglia and French archaeologist Auguste Mariette had attempted to unearth the statue. Yet the task was far more challenging than anticipated, and they had to abandon it, conceding to the sands that held the mythical statue in their grasp. But here's the strangest question. How could a statue of such immense size have been buried so deeply? Could the sands have naturally swallowed it whole? Or is there something deeper than just natural causes? Could the ancient Egyptians have intentionally buried it, and if so, why. Let's pause on a question that might seem simple, but is actually quite perplexing. Was the Sphinx ever whole in the past? Could it be that a part of its original head has vanished over time? We're not only talking about its obviously damaged nose here, but wondering about the complete form of its forehead and the crown of its skull. Some even believe it may once have had a beard extending from its chin. It's clear that the face of the Sphinx has undergone more than natural erosion. There's been damage, possibly even reshaping, perhaps more than once over the centuries. Then there's another curious detail. The head seems disproportionately small compared to the Sphinx's massive body, and this isn't something likely left to chance. The ancient Egyptians were renowned for their precision, so it's hard to believe they would ignore accurate proportions. Could the head we see today not be the original one? This leads us back to the Anubis theory, or the possibility that the head has been reshaped so severely that only fragments of its initial form remain. Now, onto a modern mystery that has sparked a lot of debate. In 2022, photos circulated showing the Sphinx with closed eyes, as though in a deep slumber. While it's hard to imagine the Sphinx without its wide-open gaze, something we've known since it was fully excavated in the 1930s, these images cast doubt on what we thought we knew. Theories emerged claiming that this strange occurrence could be a forewarning, with some even suggesting it signified the end of the world. However, there might be a simpler explanation for this puzzling sight. But what could make its eyes close like that on that particular day? Consider two intriguing possibilities, each leading us down a mysterious path. The images showing the Sphinx with closed eyes might simply be a visual illusion, the result of a particular camera angle playing tricks on us. Alternatively, these images could have been digitally altered with software like Photoshop. Given the spread of various photos from different angles, the latter seems more plausible. Thousands of people have visited the Sphinx since these questionable images circulated, taking new photos, all of which confirm that its eyes remain open, gazing steadily over the desert as they always have. As for the beard that is said to have once adorned the Sphinx's chin, this isn't mere speculation. It's a real artifact. A fragment of this beard, now preserved in the British Museum, testifies to the fact that this great statue did indeed once bear a beard. Yet another enigma arises. Historical records claim the beard fragments were found scattered between the Sphinx's front paws in the 19th century. But how could this be when the Sphinx's paws were buried beneath the sands until the 1930s? Some sources suggest that the Italian explorer Caviglia may have reached the paws before he halted his efforts to excavate the full statue. Every time we think we're nearing a solution to one of the Sphinx's mysteries, another mystery surfaces. In the gaps of ancient and modern historical records alike, one question remains. Will the beard ever return to grace the Sphinx's face once more? So, what is the big truth here? What is the secret we didn't fully understand about the Sphinx that has become clearer to us now? Perhaps the most significant discovery is not just what we know, but the magnitude of what we don't know. The most astonishing aspect is that we may never truly know the real age of the Sphinx. It's an ongoing mystery. Did it arise as a guardian for the Pyramids of Giza around 2600 BC, or has it been gazing through the sands for much longer, perhaps thousands of years before the pyramids themselves were constructed? The enigmatic erosion on the limestone may suggest that its age exceeds traditional conceptions. If it is indeed over 9,000 years old or more, it becomes challenging to ascribe it to the ancient Egyptians as we currently understand them. Herein lies a fascinating possibility. Was there an advanced civilization that predated the Egyptian civilization, perhaps laying the foundational stones for this great culture? We aren't suggesting that extraterrestrial beings were part of the equation, as some might like to believe, but we do wonder who lived on this land before the Egyptians. Yet, another question remains. Why was the Sphinx originally carved? What is the secret behind its existence there? We have become accustomed to seeing this majestic face throughout our lives, but how many of us have stopped to truly ask about the purpose of its presence? If the Sphinx does represent Khafra, could it be merely an expression of unprecedented arrogance, even by pharaonic standards? And if that is the case, why did none of Khafra's successors embark on building a Sphinx of their own? If the Sphinx was originally designed as a colossal statue of Anubis, why was it altered at all? Why does its head appear so much smaller than the rest of its massive body? And what happened to the original head? How can we ignore the absence of any written records about the moment of its creation? What name was this icon known by when it was at its peak? Was it meant to convey a higher purpose, or was it merely a monumental statue representing the pride and power of a specific pharaoh at a certain point in time? These questions remain suspended in the air, devoid of clear answers, adding to the enigma surrounding this Egyptian icon. We hope you ponder these questions and that you enjoyed delving into this captivating mystery that is one of Egypt's greatest landmarks. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to be the first to witness any new video release. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Perhaps there are more secrets waiting to be uncovered.